as part of Texas REIAs, we share a tip of the week. And this is one, the one that I'm going to share today is actually one that I'm probably a little more excited about than some of the other ones that I've shared, just because it's like literally right off of the presses from my attorney. And we've had a couple of things that have come right off of the presses from our attorneys as we've come in here, because we are actively investing in real estate. So we're getting not just the tribal knowledge that we're having over the course of our personal experience, but also because we've got great power team members, they're sharing with us everything that's going on in the marketplace. So today's tip is about wholesale language. So I want to describe to you guys, if you are considering wholesaling, and just by raise of hands, how many of you guys are looking at that as an option? Yes, okay, a bunch of you. So I want to make sure that you guys get the language right, because there have been some major wholesale language changes over the course of the last several years. When we are wholesaling something, how do we make sure that we do it and not get in trouble? Does anybody have any tips that they want to share for the rest of the folks? I'll share mine, but anybody have some tips that you guys want to share to make sure we don't get in trouble? Yes, sir. Make sure you disclose you have the property under contract. Okay. Anybody else? Make sure they know what your goal is. Okay. Your role. Okay, your role. What else? Yes, yes, ma'am. Be honest and upfront. Mm. Okay, okay. So what is some language that we need to use to make sure we don't get fined $5,000? Don't you want to know that? Yeah. Yeah, who's the governing board for the for realtors? TREC. And what does TREC not like you to do? What does TREC not like you to do? Somebody said wholesale, no. TREC does not want you to act like a realtor if you are unlicensed. And TREC sometimes views wholesaling, if it's said incorrectly, as what? Acting like an unlicensed realtor. So how about I just help you guys not get fined tonight? Yes? You know, it's so funny because I feel like part of my job is, you know, everyone comes to the REIA and they're like, oh, Chanel, I need you to show me how to make money. And you know what? I'm like, yes, I'm all about showing all of you guys how to make money. But first I want to protect the principal investment, which means first I want to make sure you don't lose any money as a real estate investor. So let's talk about that wholesale language. So, and this is something you should already know. So this is something that has been part of the law for a very long time. So this is something you should already know, that you're not wholesaling a property. What are you wholesaling? A contract. You're selling a contract. You're selling a contract. And what part of the contract or what part of a property are you selling? You're selling the equitable interest in a property, in that contract. If you use this language, you will make sure to not get fined by TREC. If you want to see all of the other real estate investors who have gotten fined by TREC, you can just go to the TREC website, because they keep a naughty and nice list. That's not true. They only keep a naughty list. Okay? So let's not make that mistake. So again, this is why we say Texans teaching Texans how to invest in Texas using strategies that work in Texas. So a lot of these, you know, folks online, a lot of you guys who might be getting your lesson from, you know, YouTube, some random person in some random state. And I'm not saying they're not savvy, and I'm not saying they're not a good investor. I'm saying they just may not know the laws and the rules that are in this state. So they may get you in a little bit of trouble when it comes to using the wrong language and or using the wrong assignment contract, or an assignment contract with the wrong language. So this is important when it comes to how you advertise that property. So if you're putting it online, it's really important to be able to make that distinction in terms of what you are selling. And it's also important when you are putting together the assignment fee agreement. Now, this is something you guys should all be aware of. So if you want to read a full article about it, you can go to the TREC website. And for those of you guys who don't know, the TREC website is trec.tx.gov.us. What the heck were they thinking when they came up with the URL for this? I can't even, just Google TREC, T-R-E-C, Texas Real Estate Commission. You guys will be able to find it. Now, okay, so here's the newer stuff, and literally this was just from my lawyer over the last few weeks. Underwriting. Does anybody know about underwriting? Who in here has gotten a loan to buy a house, like in the last 5 years? Okay, keep your hand up, keep your hand up. How many of you guys, keep your hands up? Yes, keep your hands up, it's okay. How many of you guys were asked to deliver to underwriting a copy of your 3rd grade report card? Yeah, or at least it might have felt that way, right? Right? So underwriting, and so there's underwriting for the mortgage company, there's also underwriting for the title company as well. So the underwriting for the title company basically tells the title company, here's what you can sell with title insurance and here's what you cannot sell with title insurance. The underwriter for the title company is basically the law department for the title company. They're going to say, here's what passes and here's what does not pass. And here are the disclosures that you have to put in front of a buyer and a seller. And here are the things that you don't have to put in front of a buyer and seller. Well, one of the updates lately, and I think this is because wholesaling has become, and as always has been, but maybe there have been some issues with people not, how did you say it, wholesaling properly, right? Or maybe getting some people in trouble. So now underwriters are saying, at title companies are saying, if we see that word assignment fee in an assignment agreement, then we are going to request that the seller do what? Sign something that says they've been disclosed and notified that this property is going to be assigned. So now, not only did you have to, several years ago, change your language in your assignment agreement to say that I'm assigning my equitable interest in the property, right? I'm selling my contract. Now you have to also change that wholesale agreement to make sure that you are requesting it as a management fee. So when I say this tip alone will save the entire deal, that means that if the seller did not previously know that you were going to be assigning that contract and the seller finds out because of this, sometimes sellers are like, yeah, I don't care, whatever. But sometimes sellers are like, wait a second, I'm in a distressed situation. I'm about to lose my house and you're making money off of me? Really? And the part of me is like, well, I can't buy houses for $100,000 and sell houses for $100,000 and make money, but I can't say that, right? But is this going to be a problem for some of you guys when you're dealing with your sellers? And the answer is yes. So how do we get around that? You want the workaround? Okay, 2 of you. Okay, 3. Okay, we don't even have a full quorum of yeses, okay? But I'll take it. I'll share with you guys. So this is the wholesale update for October of 2021. So this is what we do here as part of Texas REIA, is we share that tribal knowledge. So because we are seeing right now underwriters requiring a seller to sign off on an assignment of purchase contract, which this is so fascinating. So could a seller say, I'm not going to do that? In this case, a seller can say, I'm not going to do that, and it could cause the deal to fail without fault of the seller, which means it would not be part of the default clause that is covered in the contract. So, how do you get around it? Some things are more simple than you think, but some things still need to be thought out. So you're changing the wording from an assignment fee to a management fee. So that right now, even though it's form over substance, it does alleviate the issue for now. So we might have to get a little bit more creative as time goes on as real estate investors, but is that not our job? Yes, it is our job. It is our job. So if you guys want to save that wholesale, save your fee, be sure and do it the right way, and be sure and understand what title companies are requiring. So again, If you're learning from somebody out of state, they may not mention this because it may be fine in their state. But if you're learning, if you're doing real estate in Texas, you really got to make sure you get this stuff buttoned up, and you really got to make sure that you do this stuff right. Yes, yes? Okay, good. All right, good. So let's move on. So I hope you guys enjoyed the tip of the week. Every week as part of Texas REIAs, every Tuesday we give a new tip just to make sure you guys are doing your real estate investing properly. We give a new tip to make sure you don't lose money, and we give a new tip to try to make sure you guys make as much money as possible. So I'd love for you guys to join us every week, every Tuesday as we do that. And then to hear some of our prior tips of the week, just hop on our YouTube channel for Texans. And we'd love to be able to share that with you. So guys, I want to share with you